What's up, friends? This is Manni, and here we go with a setup that, especially since yesterday, everybody wanted to see. 4 times Nanea or / 5 times on the Ravager. I go with 4 here because I decided to also add the new generative Aegis system, the gas shield on top of it, which, by the way, is teeny tiny small as an equipable item. One thing that's really annoying about these new weapon is that they start with the short-range fast fire rate version first, which makes 0 sense to me, and it leads to the fact that every player, when they start the match, will first have to empty their clip for seemingly no reason right next to you. Just you hear him firing for no reason. It's because you have to get to this assault rifle style, sniper style cannon shot rather than the fast machine gun, right? And in order to get there, you first have to empty your clip. Here's a suggestion, Pixonic. Make it so that the weapon starts with the heavy sniper version, because let's be real, this is how you engage the first enemy in 90% of all cases. So, save the server the strain, serve people's eardrums the unnecessary noise of people firing, empty the weapon, and of course the individual player of having to empty the clip for no reason into the wall just to get into the first firing position, okay? So my suggestion, switch it over. The first fire mode should be the sniper, and then it should go into the shorter range machine gun version, alright? So just a little bit of a feedback here, and now we're in there, look, boom! One shot is about 300k damage, and that is with 4 weapons, and they are not maxed, by the way. Mark II level 6 is the level of these weapons right here. So you could increase the damage output by a good 8% more, right? Maybe 10. And then of course you have the option to go with a 5th weapon. However, I did want to incorporate the other new item, the gas shield, also into the mix. And I just maxed it out to Mark III after this video. This is Mark II level 11 here. And with Mark III, it will give you 200,000 energy shield Aegis. However, it takes a while before it reactivates. And in that meantime, it's going to be completely offline. But you have 200,000 additional health that will come back to you. And I think this is a really useful thing. Very often, some enemies will not choose to shoot something that has a shield. And so they will just look for a different target instead, you know? So just having that shield makes a big difference. And look how I just popped this condor in the air with just 1 shot. That is outrageous, right? It is crazy, guys. These weapons do way too much damage output. And I'm not talking about like 30% too much. I'm talking about probably twice as much too much, you know? So if they were doing half the amount of damage as they do right now, they would still be broken, you know? But they wouldn't be quite as broken. So this is my feedback again here, ladies and gents. You have to change these weapons, please. This is absolute no-go. Even Titans take tremendous amounts of damage from it. One thing, however, that I've also noticed, by the way, if you enjoy the gameplay, the commentary, to stay up to date, subscribe to the channel, please. Would be awesome. One more thing that I've noticed while testing the new stuff is that the new Nuo robot actually makes better use of any weapon you equip. So, in yesterday's video, we've seen that the Nuo with these weapons would basically one-shot everything with almost 400k damage per shot. Now, let's remember that you boost your damage output in the Nuo robot. The more you do damage while chain linked to a friend, the more damage you'll altogether going to get as a bonus. By the way, now we're firing at a Mauler Titan. Look at this. Jesus! 700,000, 800,000. Dude, I almost did 900,000 to him, and the first couple of shots were into his resistance. So only the last 4 or 5 shots actually did full damage to him, I believe. So that is crazy how much damage we just did to him from 600 meters far. And every single one of those shots would almost one-shot a player, right? So this is like regulators at 600 meters range, but constantly firing. Not like the regulators that are already crazy and ridiculous that one-tap anybody, but at 800 meters range, and they do this so fast you almost have no time to react, but at least the regulators reload after that, you know? These things, they just keep doing it. They just one-shot this guy, one-shot that guy, then this guy, then this guy. Now, I'm not sure what I'm taking damage from here. It seemed very weird. I'm also running the Bifrost Battleship, and I honestly don't think the Bifrost works. I don't know if the Bifrost simply does not work at all, or if it... I don't know, man. This thing just doesn't do anything. I have gone into battle with the Bifrost, I activated it, I waited the 2 seconds activation time, then another 2 seconds for reaching the maximum stack efficiency, and I went into... I dropped my Sumjock invincibility, I got shot, boom, death. It was like, what? Dude, I thought the Bifrost is there to just protect me, at least for that short time. I don't know, maybe Pixonic, another feedback, check the Bifrost. Not sure if it's working right. It seems a little odd, because I feel like I have respected all the things that you need to respect to make that Bifrost work in this moment, and it didn't do anything for me. So yeah, check it out, maybe there is some problem with it. But yeah, so we're here on Yamantau now with the new push game mode. I kind of actually like the game mode because it really makes for a lot of action taking place in the center. You know, there's a lot of clash going on, and I really like that. It's not so sissy style like Team Deathmatch, like people really go and fight. And that's exactly, I think, what Pixonic wanted to achieve with that game mode, and so, well done, my friends, it was a good job. You did that really well. And also, sniping, you get plenty of targets to snipe at, as you can see right here. We're shooting a Skyros ball. That was a Skyros in his ball state. I just deleted him, because I do Titan level damage output or more with these weapons. And I have a 200 HP, 200k shield on top of that, because why not, right? Now, again, you could go with 20% more firepower, adding the other 5th weapon to it, but and in this case, it would have actually gotten the kill. 400,000 damage done in one shot, by the way, similar to yesterday's Null robot. And it would have killed that Ravana in literally one shot if I had the 5th weapon on it. But let's be honest, how often is it gonna be the case that that 5th weapon is exactly that extra damage that you needed to get that one-hit kill? I don't think that's happening very often. And I'm more often than not, you probably want to have that extra 200k Aegis shield, you know, making you an unattractive target to begin with. And then even, you know, basically blocking a lot of potential damage that would in the end be direct damage to you. Look, I got this guy, boom, boom. Holy moly, dude. That is sniping next level. And yeah, I'm sorry to say it again because I've already made this video yesterday, but Pixonic, you really lost it with this weapon. It's crazy. These weapons do way too much, and I understand you want to make your sales, but all these sales come at a cost too when it is because of that. When it is because the content is just too broken. Why don't you just find a good mix for something to be attractive and good, but not being completely game-breaking and stupid? You know, I wish so much you would finally find that balance after so many years. But it is obviously clear that you do not care about a balancing. You literally just want to make the sales and everything else matters not. Super sad. But yeah, so these weapons certainly need a 50% damage buff yesterday when they came out. And it's going to come, it's going to happen, so just be aware, these weapons will get that. They will get that 50% damage nerf and probably a 50% reload time on top of it. You know? They will get all of that. You know it, I know it, we all know it's going to happen. Because what would the next weapon look like if it has to be 30% cooler than the previous, if they didn't nerf the previous, you know? So it's going to happen. The question here is Pixonic going to use our feedback and say, alright guys, we need a day 1 patch. This really is out of control. Now that we see it with pilot skills and all the new robots and stuff, alright, this needs to be changed ASAP before everybody buys it. So boom, day 1 patch and everybody sees it before they invest into it, you know? So that would be a cool way of doing it, where I would say, okay, cool, you listen Pixonic, at least, you know, that way. But you know, seeing that the test server showed these weapons weaker and now on the live server they come in more powerful is kind of giving me the vibes that this isn't going to happen, you know? And what's more like it is getting this nerf that I described, but it's just gonna take a while. So you rent that, that's what we always say in War Robots, you don't buy power. No, you don't even buy the power in this pay-to-win game, you literally just rent it. You rent the power for a time span of 2 or 3 months before it gets taken away from you and replaced with a new item that you now have to buy as well. War robots in a nutshell. But yeah, so let's keep firing. 600 meters range allows me to fire from over here, drop people to last stand. I hate this high HP last stand, because it just prevents the amount of the damage dealing altogether against that player. That's a Fenrir, by the way. And by the way, the regular machine gun version of this weapon, I feel like performs acceptable. This machine gun version does not seem to one-shot you so quickly or like drain your health ridiculously fast so that you have no time to react. That's the funny thing, is that this machine gun variant seems like a really good weapon. Here, the shield just really protected me so well from this. And by the way, I have 800,000 health in a Ravager. Like, what the heck? In a sniper build? Really? But yeah, I feel like the regular assault rifle version is a really strong weapon, very accurate even at range, and dealing tons of damage, and doing it for a long time before having to reload, so potentially doing a ton of damage in that clip. But here comes the kicker. It doesn't seem like it's completely breaking the game to me. It's just a really strong weapon, and this is also how the sniper shot version should be. You know? Maybe we can give Pixonic even a little slight benefit of the doubt. Maybe they took the whole clip damage capacity or potential of the machine gun version and just took this as basis and swap it into a 6-7 shot sniper. And they thought it's gonna be cool, just in a different firing pattern. But it is not cool, because if you do this damage all at once, it ends up in one-shotting people without giving them a chance to activate phase shift, stealth, or protect themselves in some way, get in cover. And then if you can do this with multiple shots in a row, you can actually snipe an entire team. One shot kill, one shot kill, one shot kill, one shot kill, you know? And so if by accident it happened that they took the damage clip potential and swapped it into this different firing pattern without thinking what it might do if it all comes in one shots, then maybe it could happen by accident, you know? But even if it did, what remains is that it needs to be changed very quickly. I'm trying to hit this guy with his ultimate Phantom being in stealth. Unfortunately, now that I could fire, of course I'm reloading. Wonderful. And here comes my death. 500,000 HP. The battleship is following me with a stupid laser beam that every single battleship attack on me has. Every single time it's that beholder beam nonsense. And then I got shot at the same time, so I lost a lot of health. And yeah, but yeah, thanks for watching. Tell me what you think about the points I raised. And also, we're looking at the newer robot next, again, instead of the Leo, because I want to look at this robot with you, showing a weapon setup that is typically bad. And let's see what it does on the robot that makes all those weapons powerful. We'll see. So thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video. And Manni signing off. Bye-bye, my friends.